I like the freedom to express myself, especially in jazz. It's spontaneous. You can play what you feel according to the structure of the music. So I like the freedom to be able to really express myself. So I look at our music, playing music.
Along with what Gene is speaking of, I like the ability to touch people and to heal people through the music. We all need this. If we didn't have music, it'd be a miserable world. And playing this music together, this American music, this great Black American music, it just means so much to me. And when people appreciate it, and I feel that they've been touched by it, that just resonates in my heart.
I say for me, my family, I came up in a musical family, and so growing up listening to music all the time, playing music at church, at school, and then hearing some of the greats, some of our great legends that made this music, and decided that I wanted to pursue that path and learn from them.
Myself, it was my father. In my house, he was always playing records and playing. There was always music, and whenever I grew up in kind of a small town, so there wasn't many opportunities to hear live music. Fortunately, we're close enough to New York so that I could go to the Apollo Theater, some of the greats. Eventually they got older, go to nightclubs. Just my father's interest in music, even though he didn't play it at all, to go into count dates for all the records. He was always playing music.
Same with me and my family. I grew up here in East Orange. I was born in Newark. And my father, everybody thought he played an instrument, but he sang. Probably his favorite song was All the Things You Are. And my mother was very encouraging. And my sister took piano lessons. She taught me when I was 7. And then East Orange Public School System was very instrumental in me playing music. My first instrument other than the piano was the clarinet in the 4th grade. At Lincoln High School right here in East Orange.
Definitely my parents growing up in the church, uncles, aunts that played in the choir, sang in the choir. My mom sang in the church choir. My mom got me into piano lessons. My next door neighbor got me into tap dance lessons, so rhythm, those kind of things. And it was a lot of it just came from my family.
I started on piano at 3 and a half. We had a piano in the house, and I think there was a time when most American households probably, years ago, we used to have a piano in the house, and I would go to the piano and just bang on it, and eventually my parents said, well, if you're going to bang, you're going to learn how to play it, so they put me in lessons. So that's how I happened.
I started out actually on trumpet in grammar school, and then I switched to saxophone. And I played the saxophone for about 8 years. Take a lesson here. I still have my saxophone at home, my alto saxophone. But I used to play in bands, and when I was playing, like jazz bands, there was a bass player, an instrument and the bass player, and it used to fascinate me. How did they get that to work? There's no keys on it. There's no valves. How did they get it to work? And I had the opportunity when I was in high school. I started playing this when I was 16. And I had the opportunity. I got a teacher, because the high school band director wanted a bass player. He'd rather have a bass player than a saxophone player. So I started in high school from then on.
I started on piano age 5 to 10. That was my first instrument. And I was always in chorus. Even when I eventually got to playing the drums at age 14 in middle school, I started playing the drums basically from asking my mom, because I was watching MTV. It was one of those videos where they showed a shot from behind the drum set, and I saw what they were doing I saw what the drummer was doing with his feet, and I showed it to Mom. I said, Mom, can I take drum lessons? And she said, sure, and that was it. But even at that, I gotta say the piano is such a phenomenal instrument to start with. So if parents can get their young ones involved with piano, please do it, because it opens up a whole nother world it leads you to all other kinds of instruments. You've got harmony, you have melody, you have rhythm, and you're using both your hands, you're using all 10 fingers, and you're using one of these feet a little bit too. And I think it rewires your brain, and it's like a lot to coordinate, but I think it's so healthy for you. And then if you want to graduate over to another instrument, the drums came easy to me because I had learned how to read music from playing that instrument. So And then I stayed in chorus all the way through college when I majored in percussion, and I was always trying to be involved with music in all kinds of different ways. And one of the things I think that's so great about our music is that it pulls from so many different inspirations. It comes from so many different cultures. It's a Black American art form that has taken in, it was always a fusion music. It's taken inspiration from Africa, it's taken inspiration from Europe. You have Spanish influence, you have French influence, you have all kinds of multicultural influences inside of this great Black American music. And so much as you can learn, the more you'll be able to express yourself on the instrument.
Well, my early beginnings started in the house. My sister taught me piano at age 7 years old. And then I sang a lot. I sang in the church choir, I was in the children's choir, the junior choir, directed it, and senior choir. And I sang doo-wop group with Hollywood Avenue here in East Orange. And ironically, one of the songs that we used to sing is a song my brother-in-law wrote called Just the Kind of People in the World, Little Anthony and the Imperials. And I used to go around the corner to scout meetings at Mr. Ward, Dionne Warwick's father. That was around the corner from me. So I had music in the area, and I saw the teachers demonstrating instruments, and when I was in 4th grade, they demonstrated the clarinet. I loved the clarinet. So I'm gonna sound like Benny Goodman. I was the last one to get a clarinet, and I got it home, it just squeaked and squeaked and squeaked. I took it back, I said, it's not working. He fixed it, I've been playing it ever since. So that was in 4th grade, and I got very good. I got to junior high school. Then one summer, I listened to my father's records. He had all the records. I pulled out this one record, Gene Emmons. It's called Boss Tenor. Boss Tenor. He said, ooh, his sound just captivated me. I said, I have to get a tenor saxophone. So my parents rented a tenor saxophone from Dorn and Kirshner down in Newark. It was burned down from the riots, but that's where I got my first instrument from, Dorn and Kirshner. And I've been playing saxophone since I was 14. Then I met Sonny Stitt, and he was like, oh my goodness, in Newark, a Bramford Place. My father took me to see him. The thing about it, you go full circle, and I got a chance to play with Sonny Stitt. I played a whole set with Sonny Stitt. That's one of the greatest experiences of my life. A whole set with him, and he gave me the thumbs up. And that was it for me.